It's your winning season. It's your winning season. It's your winning.
Good morning and welcome to Winning Moments with the Wins. We are super excited to have you with us on this morning. And we're just super excited because we understand that this is the day that the Lord has made. And I'm going to turn it over to our founder, our overseer, our visionary. But before I do that, I would like to welcome you always to Spread the Word Ministries on Sunday mornings at 11 o'clock. We are at 6206 Northwest Ferris Avenue. Again, if you don't have a church home, then you're welcome to our home. Again, at 6206 Northwest Ferris Avenue. And now it's in the hands of our founder, our overseer, my honey, my husband, my boo-boo.
Okay.
Pastor,
okay.
Overseer Warren C. Wins.
Okay, that means, Darby, let me tell you what that means. That means she's trying to get a big Christmas gift. It's Christmas time, so she's putting all of that in there.
I'm with you.
But listen, welcome, a winning moment with the Wins. I have a good friend here with me. We're Red Coats together, but I think most importantly, she worked with the Oklahoma Blood Bank, Blood Institute, and so we're here to talk about blood, giving blood. That's blood that's needed. And so she's here with us. Her name is Darby. She's newly married, by the way. So we just want to congratulate her on her.
Congratulations.
She got a new name too. She got a
That's
new last
right.
name. And
That's
so,
right.
but listen, that's awesome. She's an awesome person. And so we just want to dive into the conversation. Let's talk about blood, because in the African American community, there's a fear in giving blood. A lot of us don't know we can give blood, and there's a fear. A lot of people have a fear about the needles and all of that, and how it's going to feel sitting up there on that table. And we did a blood drive a couple of months ago right here
Yes, we did.
at Spread the Word. And so Lady Wins and I, we both gave.
Yes.
And so it was awesome to give. When you're giving blood, you're giving life.
Right.
And I don't think a lot of people understand
Right.
that. And Darby, I don't think a lot of people understand how much blood we need and what this location in Lawton does. I don't think they really understand the magnitude of what you guys do. So would you tell us a little bit about what you guys do?
Yes. Okay. So just to highlight, and you can cut me off whenever you guys have a question, because I will talk for a long time. But just to highlight, we send out approximately 1,200 units of blood every single day. Now, that's system-wide. We cover North Texas, 99% of Oklahoma, and up into Arkansas. I don't know the exact percentage, but we cover a lot of Arkansas. So system-wide, we send out approximately 1,200 units of blood every single day. Now, to get that blood is challenging for sure. When you look at a population, we can assume that 10% of the population will try to donate blood. But of that 10%, 15 to 18% will be deferred for some reason, whether it's low iron, or if you're on an antibiotic, or if you're sick, you can't donate, and things like that. Right. So, a lot of people think, oh, my mom or my dad donate, or, my sister donates, so I'm good. I don't need to do it. But truly, everybody thinks like that. Right. I was not a donor until I started working here because I did not know the importance of it. But I donate every 8 weeks because I see the lack of commitment in our community, and I see our hospital's needs, and we're just not meeting them. I mean, we can't even. It's so hard to keep blood on the shelf. But that's also because it has an expiration date. Right. So, and blood can't be created in a lab. So it's just everyday people like you and I that donate, that save each other's lives, and every donation can save up to 3 lives. And I don't think that people realize just how many lives they're truly saving in their local community, because 90% of what we draw here stays here. Wow, so it goes to Comanche County Memorial, Southwestern Medical Center. It may go to United Regional down in Texas or Wichita Falls, and some of it may go to Duncan. But 90% of what we draw here in Lawton, it stays here.
That's good. That's awesome.
That is awesome.
And so when we consider the car accidents, the shootings, and all of those emergencies, we hear it all the time on the news. And so people are losing blood, and so we definitely need to give. Give blood. And so before we start recording, we start talking about something very interesting to me. We start talking about the sickle cell. And sickle people with sickle cell traits. So, and you taught me something I didn't know, but I want you to share that. But So I had a cousin to die because we found out he was anemia, sickle cell. He had sickle cell. And we did not find out until he was a freshman in college. His stomach started hurting. He was in school. He was in class. His stomach started hurting. He called his mom, and he ended up going to the doctor that day. And that's when they found out that after they had ran a lot of tests, they found out that he had sickle cell. And so when a lot of us hear that, African Americans, okay, it makes us feel some kind of way. But you shared with us that you need people that have the sickle cell trait to give blood. And in my mind, I'm thinking that is not good blood because we could be passing on the disease, sickle cell.
Right.
So would you explain and talk about that a little bit for us?
Yeah, so we don't actually give, so whenever we have blood with the sickle cell trait in it, we have those bags marked differently. So we know what has it and what doesn't. And so if somebody's in the hospital and they have the sickle cell trait or just sickle cell anemia in general, and they need blood products, we give them that blood with the sickle cell trait because it's easier on their body. Their body takes it a lot easier. If they were to get blood that doesn't have the sickle cell trait in it, it could make them sick. Their body would potentially start trying to fight that off.
Yeah.
So, we definitely need blood with the sickle cell trait in it. And that is a big myth, like you were saying, because a lot of people think, oh, I've got the sickle cell trait. We don't want to give that to nobody, but we have that marked different, and we test the blood before we ever use it on anybody. So we make sure that there's nothing in it that can harm somebody. And so that's one thing that we need, and a lot of people just don't see it as a need. They think that it's bad, but no, we need it.
Wow. So listen, those that are listening to us, if you have the sickle cell trait or you have a family member that has the sickle cell trait, please encourage them to give, because there are people with the sickle cell trait that need your blood, need that particular type of blood because their body receives it better because it already has the trait in it. And so if they get any other blood, then their body will fight it. And so we can debunk that myth now. And so that's no longer an excuse not to give blood.
Right.
So we need you out giving blood. Yeah.
Right.
And so that is awesome.
And you said you give did you say 6 weeks?
Every 8 weeks.
Every 8 weeks.
So,
okay. So.
Well, and I try. My iron, you got to have a 12.5 iron to be able to give, and I haven't been able to give in a while because when I tried, my iron was too low.
Right.
So I've been taking my iron pills trying to get my iron back up, but I try to give every 8 weeks. Yeah,
every 8 weeks.
Wow. So you can
So that's
give.
another encouragement right there.
Right.
I mean, we should try to, if you know that you are able to.
Well, and
to
even if
give,
you can
try.
just commit to doing it once a quarter. If you
Right.
can just find a blood drive once a quarter near you. A lot of people the regular donors typically donate one time a year, but you are eligible every 8 weeks, just about, unless you do a double unit donation. But a lot of people don't do that, so it's typically every 8 weeks that you can donate. But your regular donors, we can see them about once or twice a year. But yeah, if you can try to find a blood drive once a quarter, I mean that is a huge commitment for us. I mean that's huge, and we can see our typical repeat donors. We form such good relationships with.
Right.
We see them. We want to take care of them. So
Yeah. And so that's important. Drives. There are a lot of organizations. There are people out there that are head of organizations that's listening to us. Would you consider doing a blood drive? Is there any specifics that they need in order to do a blood drive?
So we just ask, if you are considering hosting a blood drive, we do ask that you find an inside room available. We do have a blood mobile, but it stays booked out for months, and it's hard to book a blood drive with the blood mobile because it could break down the day of the blood drive, and then
Right.
we have to cancel. So if you have a room inside that's big enough, we prefer about 600 to 700 square feet if you have the space available. But we get creative, okay? So we
Yeah.
can come check something out and see if it's big enough. We've used 2 rooms before, 1 room for screening, 1 room for drawing. So we get creative, but because of course we need it. We want to go absolutely anywhere we can. But we ask that you have a space available, and then we also ask if you have a group. So, like for example, you guys here at Spread the Word, we would ask maybe that we could come and talk to your congregation or talk to your churchgoers and talk to them about the importance of blood
Right,
donation and
right.
stuff like that, and then try to get some commitment from people like, hey, if we host a blood drive here, how many of you guys would sign up to try to give?
Right.
So that's what we ask. And it's really, there's no limit on how many people we need. We set up blood drives where we draw 8 or 9, and we set up blood drives where we draw 50. I mean, it doesn't matter. We go anywhere and everywhere.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's great.
So listening to my pastor friends out there that are listening to us this morning, would you please consider hosting a blood drive? We did it here at Spread the Word a couple of months ago, and it was awesome. Lady Wins and I gave, and it makes you feel good about being able. You're saving
3 lives.
3 lives. 3 lives. We're saving 3 lives, and so would you please consider giving or setting up a blood drive? All you got to do is call down to the Blood Institute. They will come out and check out your place, and they'll give you some pointers and all of that, because it'll be a win-win situation, because we want to win. And we are the church. And so not only can we give word, we can give blood, because Jesus gave his blood for us. I might well throw some Bible
Come
in there,
on,
huh?
come on.
Jesus
Yes,
gave his
he
blood
did.
for us.
That's
Amen.
right.
That we might have life. Amen. So let
That's
us
right.
help and give some blood so that we can give life to others.
Right.
Amen. That's awesome. I
And
don't
giving blood saves 3 lives.
giving blood say okay.
And
And
Okay.
all it takes
Okay,
is a
I'm
little
just
bit of your
saying.
time. You don't got to give us no money. You don't.
Yeah.
All we ask for is an hour of your time.
Yeah.
You know.
You're right.
Yeah, that is awesome. Yeah.
Yeah.
So what is a story or testimony that you can share about giving blood?
Well, I can tell you guys a story about a family from Walters, and so they live and go to school in Walters. It's a husband and a wife. He's currently the pastor at the First Baptist Church in Walters, but he's not a preacher. I mean, they're looking for one, but he's just filling in. Anyways, it's a husband and a wife, and they've got 3 boys, 2 of their own, and then they kind of adopted one just from the town. The mama wasn't doing very good, and they took him in.
Okay.
All 3 boys in high school. They own a meat processing plant in Sterling, Oklahoma. And so last summer, Teddy, the husband, was at working whatever. Well, he had a buddy that had a gun, and it was jammed. Something was wrong with it. There wasn't nothing in the chamber, nothing. So he was walking around, and he's hunted and done stuff his whole life. He's always been around firearms, knows how to use them properly.
Right.
He had taken the gun. I mean, it was in 5 or 6 different pieces. He had taken it completely apart. He was trying to figure out why it was jammed. Well, he had the piece, and he was carrying it to go somewhere, and it went off.
Oh, wow.
No bullet in the chamber. I mean, no idea what happened, okay? It hit him about right here. And I don't know exactly where to tell you guys, just right in that little hip area. He used 55 units of blood.
Oh, wow.
And it almost killed him. So he had to have a double fasciotomy in his leg, and just a miracle that he's even alive. I mean, he tells his story. I mean, and they'll come down and talk to people and say, this is number one, God, the reason why I'm here, because he should have been dead. I mean, like, let's be honest. It would have.
Wow.
It's crazy. And then, let me just tell you, 1 year later, his son was working, his middle son was working at his meat processing plant. This was July of this year. They were doing summer pride workouts. So they would go to their football practice in the morning, go work out, and then the boys would go over and work and cut meat at the meat processing plant.
Okay.
He was coming around a slab, and I don't even know the story like he would tell it, but he said he's cut this slice of meat hundreds of times. I mean, he can do it in his sleep.
Right.
Yeah.
He comes down, the knife slips, hits him right in that same spot that his daddy,
Oh, wow.
like, shot himself, basically.
Wow.
It's right around that same spot.
Wow.
Ian used 14 units of blood just in the plane ride to OU Medical.
Oh, wow.
I mean, it should have killed him, too. And he had a double fasciotomy in the same leg
Same leg.
that his daddy did.
Like that.
Wow.
Brooke, the wife, will get up and say, God helped me save my husband so that my husband could save my son.
Wow.
And I mean, it's incredible. Both guys in 1 year of each other used 75 units of blood, and that's just 20 miles south of where we are right now.
Yeah.
You know?
That's amazing.
Yeah.
That's amazing.
I mean, it's just crazy. And people think, you know, oh, I don't know where this blood is going when I donate it, or, you know, whatever.
Yeah.
It's going right here.
Right.
I'm telling you guys, it's right here.
Yeah. Because there's myth out there. I ain't getting my blood. They selling my blood.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, all of that kind of stuff. I've heard that before.
Yeah.
Yeah. I ain't going to give my blood. They making money off my blood. They
Well,
selling it.
and that's another kind of point that I can hit on. Everybody is always curious how we're a nonprofit, you know, because we do have our I don't know the word I'm looking for, agreements with our hospitals, I guess.
Right.
Well, we sell the process. So what that is, if we weren't cleaning the blood and making sure that it was good for use and bagging it and doing all of that, the hospitals would have to hire out a lab to do that for them.
Mm-hmm.
So we basically sell the process to them so that when they get the blood, it is ready to use.
Mm-hmm.
They don't have to worry about if it's
Right.
clean, where it came from, because we already done all that.
Right.
Yeah. Yeah.
So,
That's
Right.
amazing.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
So, you know, Gibson, Evangelist Gibson.
Right.
She
One of our
used
very
about,
own.
yeah, she used a lot of blood because
Right.
she's a miracle right here in
Right. She holds a record, right?
She holds the
Comanche.
record at Comanche
What happened?
County. She got sick and she was losing a lot of blood, but she ended up in the hospital and she had like less than a pint of blood in her.
yeah.
Yeah. And the doctors were
crazy.
amazed that she should have had strokes and should have
How
had
she
heart
could even
attacks.
walk.
Exactly. That's wasn't enough blood to pump to all of her organs in her body. And so she was sitting up on the bed laughing and joking with them. And they came in taking pictures of her, talking to her. Like, how are you even alive? You know, so it was.
That is crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
Yeah,
so
it's
I
good.
know they had to give her a lot of blood.
Right, they did.
Yeah. So
They
that's
sure did.
Yeah.
They
That's
sure did.
amazing. Yes, but it's very important.
Very much.
Now we know the importance of giving blood.
Yes.
We know it's not being sold. We know that you can give if you have the trait. Okay, and so we can. It's very important that we set up a blood drive.
Right.
We're giving life.
Right.
We're giving life. And so, how do we keep the process of giving blood safe? What's up?
What are you trying to do? You kind of dumb that down for me. Are you asking us how we make sure that the blood is safe?
Yeah, how do we make sure that the blood is safe, and how once you guys get it, how do you guys?
So that
kinda
is
process it,
actually
make sure it's not, it don't get germs and all of that.
right. Okay, so you guys need to talk to our BPS department.
Okay.
So, and let me tell you this, and the reason why I don't know a whole lot about that's
Right.
more above my head, but I can tell you. Whenever we get that bag of blood at the blood drive, our supervisor on that day will heat seal it. So it's sealed completely. There's no contamination. Once your bag of blood is donated, we immediately seal it.
Right.
And then we have to store it at room temperature. So they'll go ahead and put it in these big boxes. And then our BPS department, which is the department that will come pick up the blood from the blood drives and take it to Oklahoma City to our lab. They'll come and get it, and they have to have coolers, or they have to keep their vehicles at a certain I can't think of the word temperature. Yes, so it's crazy, kind of how we have to keep it bagged and processed. But once they have to, it's very specific, and we are very specific because we don't want to waste any blood that we
Right.
draw.
Right.
If something gets contaminated, we have to trash it.
Right.
Right.
And so we hate to do that. If you're going to come in and give your blood and your time to donate, we want to make sure that blood gets used. I can tell you guys, last year, our fiscal year is April 1st to March 31st. And last fiscal year, we only had to trash 3 units of blood.
Oh, wow.
Because
That's
they
amazing.
maybe became contaminated or we didn't, get them at the right temperature or whatever. But our BPS department is insanely they're good.
Yeah.
They're
That is
phenomenal.
good. That's good.
And so that's how they do that. They come to the blood drives, they pick that blood up, and they take it immediately up to our labs in Oklahoma City. If it's like a late blood drive, sometimes on Fort Sill, we'll do blood drives in the evening time. So they won't get the blood till 9 or 10 o'clock at night. And so we have a small lab here in Lawton that they'll take it to. They'll put it in the rooms or however it needs to be stored, and then take it that next morning up to Oklahoma City. And it's got so long that we have to get it there before we'd have to trash it. I mean, our BPS they're the real heroes out there. I mean, they're what gets that blood, gets it where it needs to be, gets it processed, and gets it to our hospitals. They're the ones that deliver it to our hospitals.
So
That's awesome.
tell us what's your specific role
Okay.
at the blood bank? Because I know.
Yeah, because you didn't.
Yeah,
Kind
what's
of
your
introduce
yeah.
exactly.
Yeah,
what
so
you
I'm an
want me to
account
do.
consultant, and so what that basically means is I'm a recruiter, and I sell the gift of life, is what I tell people. I'm like, I don't want to be a sales lady, but I'm selling something that you can't buy. I'm selling, I say that, I'm selling the gift of life. I'm trying to get people to just give their time to give the gift of life to others. So I'm basically a recruiter. We have the recruitment operation, which we each have a territory. So I cover Lawton, Fort Sill, down to the casinos in Randelette. And then I kind of make a little U back up and cover Stevens County. So I go to Comanche and Velma and Duncan, and then right back over here. So it's kind of a big like D, I guess, if that makes sense.
Okay.
But we each have a territory, and we each have a monthly goal of what they want us to bring in, and it's just a needle in arm. So for recruitment, it's not necessarily about what products we receive. It's about just getting the people in the door. If we can get the people in the door to give the blood, then our donor services, and that's the people that come out and actually do the blood drive. They stick you, they get all that blood processed and everything. They're the ones that are focused more on the products. They'll talk to you in your screening booth about, hey, you've got such and such blood type, and we really need your plasma today. Can you donate your plasma today?
Right.
Or whatever the case.
Right.
They're the ones that handle all of that. And then your BPS department comes in, and they're the ones that pick up the blood, and they keep it stored and processed at exactly whatever it needs to be. They get it up to the labs. Lab department gets it tested. They get everything processed the way it needs to be. Our BPS will pick it up and deliver it to our hospitals. So 3 main departments, recruitment, donor services, and BPS. But recruitment is just mainly getting the people in the door. We try to go out and find places that will host blood drives. We'll go out and do speeches or presentations on why it's important and things like that.
Okay.
That's
So
good.
yeah,
That's
that's
good.
awesome. So just in case there's somebody listening and they need to get in contact with you, how can they get in contact with you to set up maybe a blood drive?
Yeah, so if you go to obi.org, there's so many links and things that you can find on there of, how can I donate or how can I even host a drive? And then it'll probably ask you, and I'm not for sure about this, but it'll probably ask you like your zip code or where you're located, and it'll pull up somebody for you to call. Typically, it'll probably call down to our donor center, and our receptionist will answer it, and she will she'll get a hold of us and say, hey, so-and-so called. They're from, Elgin. Somebody in Elgin wants to host a blood drive. Her number is such and such and such. Give it to me, and we'll get in contact with them, and that's typically how that works.
So do you guys do blood drives on the weekend?
Oh, anytime.
Okay.
Anytime. Yeah, so that's a funny thing. I always get the question is, well, when do you guys do this? Or when do you guys come out? And I'm like, when do you want us there? Because we'll be there, you know. That is the only downfall, I would say, for our donor services staff is they work crazy hours. But they do a phenomenal job, too. I mean, my hats off to our phlebotomy team and our BPS team, because I feel like my job is easy because I just try, I'm out there and I'm advocating for blood donation, but they come in and they do all the hard work,
Yeah. Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
So,
Because they did an awesome job when they came here to us.
right.
well,
They
good.
did.
Right,
We
right.
love to hear good stories for
yeah,
sure.
we laugh, we joke. In fact,
And they also, like you said, they did because they actually got you to give
plasma.
plasma. Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, we enjoyed them. And so to my pastor friends that are listening, we actually did a blood drive on a Sunday afternoon right after church. And it was amazing. We had a great time. We had good participation. And so don't let a Sunday, because you're there, that would be a great time. The congregation is already there. And so you can just go from the church, from having services, into giving blood and giving life. And so don't let a weekend or a Sunday deter you. You can do it on a Sunday.
And I was going to say, too, if you like Sunday football, I always tell churches and stuff, if you guys like football, bring some food in, turn on the football game, and host the blood drive, and just hang out. You don't have to donate and leave. You can
Yeah.
hang out for a while, watch
Right.
other people. So
Yeah,
you
that's
can make
great.
it into a little event if you wanted to.
Yeah, yeah.
That's
yeah,
right.
That's great.
That's good.
Yeah.
That's good.
And so we're glad to have Darby here with us on this morning talking about the importance of giving blood. I learned something
I
today.
did too.
Did you?
Yay.
I did too. And I know some people I'm going to encourage with the trait to give
Yeah.
blood.
Yeah. Yeah, that's
I'm
awesome.
going to encourage them to give blood.
Yeah. I don't.
Well, thank
yeah.
you.
I think they're once we talk to them, I think that they will understand how important,
importance.
the importance of, because we play that off. We play it off until it's us or one of our loved ones that's in need. So when we have an accident or when our loved ones have an accident, now it's important to us to give blood.
Right.
And so we're ready to give blood then. But what about somebody else? What about the
Somebody
need?
you don't know.
Yeah, yeah, and that's what we're here for. We're here to meet the need of the people.
Right.
Yeah, not
Right.
just spiritually, not just emotionally, but physically.
Physically, yeah.
And so
Yeah.
it's amazing that just giving blood, you can help save 3 lives. Man, that's awesome.
Yeah, that is.
Yeah, that may be can I give some and save it for you? Can that be a Christmas present for her?
What? So you're going to give some blood and save it for me?
Yeah. That'll be your Christmas present.
Oh, my
Please
Lord.
listen.
It'll
Lord,
expire
have mercy.
before
Please
she
pray
even
for
need
me.
it.
Pray for me.
Yeah.
Pray for
That's
me.
Yeah, I
funny.
just thought I'd throw
I
it
know
out
it.
there. But yes, listen,
This
it's been awesome. Darby, thank you for coming and sharing all that powerful and wonderful information. Listen, once again, thank you guys for joining in and listening to us, hanging out with us at A Winning Moment with the Winds. Don't forget, we prophesy over your life. We speak over your life every Sunday. We declare that we're healthy, we're wealthy, and we are wise. We also declare and decree that the rest of this day shall be the best of this day, and the rest of this week shall be the best of this week, and the rest of this month shall be the best of this month, and the rest of this year shall be the rest of this year, and the rest of your life shall be the best of your life. In Jesus' name, amen.
I
God
love
bless
that.
you all, and we'll see you soon on the next episode of Winning Moments with the Winds.
Come on, let's tell them. Everything attached to you wins. Now just tell them, say, it's your winning season. It's your winning